10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Stand by D.
9, 8, 7, 6,
5,
5,
4,
D has
3,
the opener.
2, 1.
And D's away.
We're backstage here at Freebird Live with one of the hardest working guys in reggae, E.N Young. He is the keyboardist for Tribal Seeds. How are you doing tonight?
Very good.
So like I said, you're kind of a one-man band. You play all sorts of instruments. You're also a songwriter, singer for Tribal Seeds. Tell us a little bit about that and your background.
Well, I started producing a long time ago, and I've been doing that a long time, and also been playing on stages for a long time, and playing instruments. I started playing piano at 5 years old, and so yeah, just you do a lot with music, and the foundation of this music is like a message to spread peace and love and unity. So I feel grateful doing it.
As you mentioned, you started playing the piano at 5 years old and then grew into playing the drums, the keyboards. Yeah. What's one of the favorite instruments that you like to play?
My main instruments that I play, I think that I excel at, are drums and keys. So yeah, I broke my arm when I was 12, and the doctor was like, you got to do something physical. My dad was like, I'm buying you a drum set. So I had drums and keys, and it was really nice for my life and career. Yeah.
So at what point did you realize that you wanted to do music professionally?
I think at a young age, I felt like I was going towards it. You know, I was just trying to figure out my path, but it was very young. Yeah.
So, you know, you are keyboardist for Tribal Seeds, but you also produce for a lot of other bands. What other bands have you worked with?
Yeah, I did a lot of good records this summer. Leilani Wolfgram is a brand new artist that is amazing. Gonzo, who also plays with Tribal Seeds. I did a Clear Conscience album this summer. Did an album for Tatanka. And then off the label, did for Arise Roots, True Press, and the list goes on and on. A lot if I can think of.
Are there any artists that you haven't worked with, either mainstream, independent, that you would love to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
I'd love to work with some quality groups that I really have passion for, such as maybe Revolution, Collie Buds, Stick Figure. I know they do a lot of their own production and things, but these are some bands that I would enjoy in the studio that I link up with on the road, and I'd love to be with them in the studio. You know, it's kind of a bit a shot away, but you asked, so I told you.
Well, anything is possible.
Yeah.
And one of the awesome things about you is that you actually own a studio out in San Diego, Imperial Sound. Tell us a little bit about that.
Imperial Sound was just a manifestation. I just had a dream. I just wanted to build a studio, always have a studio, and I got the right opportunity. I bought a house with a nice lot behind it and built a studio, and it's been a dream come true. We've done lots of albums there, and Tribal Seeds is in there a lot, and it's a blessing, really. Very grateful for it.
So, as I mentioned, you did join Tribal Seeds. How's it been being with the group? What have you added and brought to the table with them?
So, like, the history is I started by producing. I first produced Soundwave's EP, Tribal Seeds, and then they had an issue and they needed a sound engineer for a few weeks. So I went on the road with them as a sound engineer, and we stayed close and ended up joining the band, and then started to produce Representing album, and it's been a really blessing. I think it's always been towards this. I've been meant to be with Tribal Seeds. It's such a beautiful family, and they support me so much, and just very grateful for the whole situation. I love my brothers, and it's every day is a blessing with them.
You're on tour right now in representing their album, Representing. How's that been being on tour with them right now?
It's nice. I mean, we've been touring for I just hit my 2-year mark with them, so we've been touring like 7 months out of the year, so we're on the road a lot. So yeah, it's been a lot, and it feels good. It feels like it's meant to be, and feels powerful. It's good.
So as we mentioned, you play a lot of instruments. One of the instruments though is the melodica. A lot of people don't know about, but they hear and see this strange instrument in reggae all the time. You have one with you right now. Tell us a little bit of the history behind it. I know that it's been around since the 50s. It became really prominent in the 70s with reggae music.
Yeah, it was originally built as an instrument to teach kids music, I think in Germany, and Hohner, I believe, invented it, and it was meant as a toy to teach kids in classes. It was really mobile, they could play it from anywhere. And then, musicians started, especially like Augustus Pablo, put it on the map. He put in these songs, and everyone was like, what is that sound? What is that? I want that, you know? and I think it just started the wave where now I hear it in lots of different genres and areas. But I as a kid wanted one. I would listen to Augustus Pablo, and I wanted to play. And I think at 16 or 15, I bought my first melodica, waited for it to come in the mail, and I picked it up, and I just ran with it ever since.
There's two types of melodicas. There's the plastic and there's the wood, and there's kind of been a versus with that. Some people say that the wood has a more pure sound. Which one do you like to play more, the wood or the plastic?
Well, the original ones that were some metal that I had, they were like metal based, and Honer made those, and they were calling that like the Cadillac of melodicas, you know? But now you can't buy those, and they're getting very rare to buy now. Like they have a few brands, and like you mentioned, the wood one is very innovative and new. I've never actually played one of those. Yeah, but there's only one person that makes that, I believe. It might be two, but yeah, they're very rare. And I play the plastic one. All plastic, has brass reeds, and I actually have my own brand. So it's like the E.N Young brand here.
Oh, awesome.
Melodica 32. I also carry the 37. So yeah, so you can buy it off rootsmusician.com, and I have them also at the merch table.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I got, I searched for a connection to find a maker, and I found a maker and linked up with them and got my own brand. So
That's really interesting. Can you give us a little bit of sample?
sure. I can play blues, everything.
Oh, that's really cool.
All genres, all music can be played on this.
Yeah. So at what part of the show do you usually incorporate this instrument?
Just certain times I have it on my keyboard, so I just pick it up, run around the stage, and add it to the vibe.
Well, we definitely appreciate you sitting down with us tonight, Ian. But before we go, I have to ask you, because it's obvious. We got to ask you about the dreads. How long have you been growing these dreads?
It's been 14 years. Yeah, 14 years. I shaved my head when I was 18. It tells you how old I am. Yeah.
And I mean, being on tour especially, do they get in the way? Like, how do you manage these?
It's a challenge. They're huge. Yeah. I think they're gonna start hitting the floor soon, so that's gonna get crazy.
Is there anything or any amount of money that would ever get you to cut them?
I think if I felt too much pain, and I couldn't deal with them, then I would cut them. But yeah, it's just a material thing in the end, really. I mean, all this, how we look and present ourselves is all vanity, anyways. At the root of it. So, dreadlocks to me, why it started was a symbol of a natural way, and a symbol of, like, if somebody sees me in a grocery store, it will open their head. They'll be like, what is this dreadlock guy? It changes their thoughts, and that's how I originally. But now I rock reggae stages and play with some of the big timers, and I'm swinging my dreads. And so at that point, there's a certain vanity that's involved, and it loses the original meaning. But yeah, dreadlocks definitely are a symbol for me and very important to me.
So what's next for 2015? Any new projects in the works?
Yeah, after I have one album. It's called Luck and Chance No More, and I toured nationally with Tribal Seeds. Oh, that's what I didn't mention, is that I went on a national tour with Tribal Seeds in 2011, opening up. I didn't mention that in our history. But yeah, so I did a national tour with them, opening up solo, and that was the first time that I did a national tour. It was really nice. But that was my first album, Luck and Chance No More, and I haven't released anything for 3.5 years because I've been producing everyone else. And finally, I have a new album coming out on January 20th. It's called Live, Love, Stay Up, and the first single is going to drop next week on the 18th. It's called Eye of the Storm, and that includes 9 tracks, 9 dub versions, and 9 acoustic versions of the same tracks. So 27 tracks, massive album. Yeah, it's like it's really fresh for me. Like I'm excited for you to hear it.
So, and before we go, where can everyone find your work and your music?
At rootsmusician.com. That's also the record label, Roots Musician Records. So rootsmusician.com, you can find Leilani, Gonzo, Red, Rocksteady, Clear Conscience Captain, Tatanka, a bunch of good reggae artists.
Well, again, thank you so much for sitting down with us, Ian. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I really appreciate you supporting the music and spreading it around.
No problem.
Spreading that message in peace,
Thank you. Again, this is Brittany Wright with Total Covers 360.